Hello there. Now you're probably thinking, what on earth is this? Now, in today's video, I am going to be running you through some of my top tips and some advice for student groomers, or maybe some people setting up on their own for their only time. You know what I mean, student groomers, new groomers, junior groomers, just somebody maybe who's fresh out of their training course or still doing their training course, you know. But basically what I'm saying is this is just some advice I would give to a new groomer or a student groomer. So I have some notes right here just so I don't forget anything, because there is a lot. Not that it's like major like thinking stuff. I just don't want to forget anything that I would have liked someone to have told me about or warned me about. But anyway, we'll get started. Just a little disclaimer also, obviously everybody has had their own experiences with setting up their own grooming business, or they've had their own experiences with their grooming training. By no means is every single piece of this advice that I'm giving out gonna apply to every single person. So like, if you don't agree with it, that's fine. I'm just hopefully pointing some people in the right direction. So enjoy the video. So if you follow the Christies TikTok page, which you really should if you don't, you'll maybe have heard or seen me talking about some of these topics before. So in this, I'm just really going to elaborate on some of them, and there will be some new things. But basically, I'll give you a wee bit of background info on me, myself and I. I started my business when I was 21. I think before in something I maybe said 20, but I had literally just turned 21. Like I turned 21 on the 6th of September and started this on the 28th of September, so that's why the confusion was there. But yes, anyway, I started my business when I was 21. I had finished my course, I think, in August, and then set up on the 28th of September. So that's really scary to think about. And some people will probably be like, that was so stupid, you didn't have any experience, like how could you do that? Wow. But it's a funny thing, because if someone had have been hiring at the time, I probably would have went and tried to get a job somewhere. But it was just after the really bad lockdown, like during the pandemic, and nobody really wanted like anybody else in with them, or you know, they didn't really want to mix, and there wasn't a lot of job opportunities around where I was. So I was like, my mom sort of encouraged me, and we were both like, yeah, maybe, you know, if you're gonna do it eventually anyway, maybe you should just be a free bird and go out by yourself. So that I did. I went out by myself, and when I say it was pretty terrifying, it was pretty terrifying. Like, it wasn't like, you know, oh, what am I doing? Like, you know, I wasn't like insanely freaking out, but I remember the time before my first customer came, I literally was like, what do I do? What do I say? It was as if I had never met a human before, ever in my life. But look, got through it, and here we are. So now, enough of the story time. Here is my advice. So piece of advice number 1. This is such a cliche thing to say, but there is no such thing as a silly question. Like, there's just not. And I know you probably heard it when you were in school and blah, but you should never ever be afraid to ask a question or to ask for help, like during your training or your course or whatever it is. Like, the more you ask, the more you're gonna learn. So you're only gonna better yourself as a groomer. You know what I mean? Like, if whoever was teaching you was doing something right in front of you, and you literally were mind boggled and just didn't understand, and you just sat there and went, you know, like, what are you gonna learn from that? Nothing. So if you were absolutely mind boggled and they were still doing it in front of you, and you said, I'm not, like, this isn't registering in my brain, please can you show me again, or please can you explain to me how you're actually doing that? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's only going to make you better and a stronger groomer if you need to do something 10 times over in order for you to actually understand it in your head. Well, that's fine, because, you know, say you are in training or you're doing a course, how would I put this? Like, you are then a reflection of the person who's teaching you. So you want to do them proud and you want to be a good groomer for them, but ultimately you want to be a good groomer for yourself. So ask the questions, even if it seems like the silliest, most stupid question in the world, ask it, because I promise you, once you get an answer, it will make a lot of sense. So piece of advice number 2, if you are more of a hands-on, physical sort of learner, what you're gonna wanna do is ask some of your family, ask some of your friends, hey, like, would it be alright if I borrowed sprinkles today just to get a wee bit of practice in? Because as the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. I'm full of like cliches today, but it's the truth. So what I say is practice makes perfect. If you repetitively do something over and over again, all you're going to do is take from it like, oh, this is where I went wrong the last time, so let's not do that this time. Okay, that was better than the last time, but it could still be better, let's improve. And like another like sort of, what's the word, like part of this is be repetitive with your practice. So don't one day be like, you know what, I'm gonna work on getting the perfect schnauzer eyebrow today, and then tomorrow be like, you know what, I actually think I'm just gonna go full out and groom a Labrador, because there's no like repetitiveness in that. And with repetitiveness comes like perfection. Practice makes perfect. But I just mean like, if you consistently for 5 days worked on doing your schnauzer eyebrows, I promise by the end of those 5 days, your schnauzer eyebrows would be like immaculate. But if you were like, schnauzer eyebrows, just gonna do a full groom on a Labrador, and then you know what, maybe tomorrow I'm feeling like, maybe I'll just, you know, do a D-shed on a Labrador, or maybe then the day after that, then I'll actually just scissor a full Pomeranian. Like, although yes, technically you are practicing, there's no repetitiveness there. But yes, be repetitive with your practicing and like set yourself goals each week. So say last week you really, like if you're in the middle of your training or your course, last week you really messed up a Shih Tzu, like, you know, sent the Shih Tzu home, there was lines all over him, he was choppy, he just didn't look good. Well then say, by this day next week, I'm gonna send a Shih Tzu home and he's gonna be 10 times better than that. Doesn't have to be perfect, because you're only starting out and you're only new, and like, you're only as good as your last groom. So just aim to be better each time. Don't aim every time to be the best in the world, because then you're just going to put yourself under like immense pressure and you're going to get all flustered and you're never going to be the best. So you might as well just try and be better than the last groom you did each time. Advice number 3, I'm not going to lie, advice number 2 took it out of me. I got quite passionate, but here's advice number 3. So once you're starting out and you're trying to get your equipment, and you go on and you see all this stuff in front of you, and you're like, hang on here, when I was doing my course, all I was using was a couple of pairs of scissors, a pair of clippers, some guard combs and a few sprays. And then you go on to like a website and there is literally tens of thousands of products in front of you. You're like, where do I start? Like, what do I do? fear not, because the lovely Christies Direct has like literally the most amazing student and starter packs. So basically, I remember I was on my computer one day, literally saying to myself, okay, I'm gonna go on here and get some of my grooming equipment sorted. Oh my, where do I start? Tears, sweating, hyperventilating. Lo and behold, starter pack. I was like, oh. So in it I'm not gonna be able to name every product, but the basic things that I needed were clippers, scissors, guard combs, some sprays, some shampoos, colognes, you know, just everything I needed for a basic starter kit. And I can't remember how much I paid at the time, but it was bang for your buck. It was like all that for this. I was like, okay. And plus it took the stress out of everything. Like, I mean, I ordered it the next day, it was there. It was like Christmas Day. I was like, this is amazing. If you are looking for yourself, you're gonna buy stuff you don't need. Like, these kits come with literally the essentials, and there's nothing, you know, missing from them that, you know, you would be in the middle of doing a dog and be like, oh, well, that never came in my kit, so how am I meant to do this? You know, it's all the basics that you need in order to groom the dogs that you're gonna be doing once you first start out. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't need all the fancy stuff to start out with. And plus it gives you a really good opportunity to try some of the products that you maybe wouldn't have got. So yeah, that's advice number 3. But yeah, in saying that, like, Christies does some really, really, really brilliant stuff for such an affordable price. Like, the first scissors I had they came in my pack, but they were the Groom Professional Astrid scissor range, and they are so affordable and so good. Like, some people will say, you know, spend like hundreds and hundreds on your scissors because like that's what you'll be doing a lot of your work with. And yeah, like, once you get a wee bit more experienced, I would agree, like, branch out and spend a wee bit more if you want to treat yourself and, you know, you think, God, like, they're class, like, I really, really want to use them. By no means treat yourself, but I think when you're starting out and you're trying to save your money a wee bit, go for the more affordable option, because I vouch for the Groom Professional Astrids and the Groom Professional Serious range. I would still, like, I do still buy those scissors. If like I go for that range because they're a good price and they're absolutely fantastic. I actually think I maybe did a TikTok about them, I can't remember, but like, I literally love them. So my advice, if you're watching this right now thinking, okay, I need to get some scissors, I don't know like where to start, there's so many here, Astrids or Serious, like, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So for advice number 5, I would like to say, if you just came out of your course and you're thinking, woohoo! Never have to learn anything ever again. I'm just gonna kick my feet back, up, sit back and relax. That's me signing off. Just gonna sit back and make some money, groom some dogs. You're wrong. You're so wrong. You're always learning in this job. Always learning in this job. And yes, you'll be working and you'll be learning from that, but I mean, you need to spend time doing your research, watching videos of people grooming, watching TikToks of people grooming. You know, you just always need to be bettering yourself and staying on trend with things. Like, it's sort of like after school where you were like, I have to do my homework. But if this job is something you're passionate about and you love, you'll love going in after a day's work and watching 10 videos about how to get the perfect doodle foot. And that's what it takes. Like, you just constantly have to be on top of learning, watching videos, thinking, oh yeah, that's how you do that, that's how you make that look better. It's just going to benefit you as a groomer. Personally, that's what I think anyway. You just always have to be learning. But another thing is, like, side note, Christies also does some good learning resources. One of them is like the most famous ever, is notes from the grooming table. Why can't I speak? Notes from the grooming table, which I keep in my salon. It's over there somewhere. I really should have brought it over here, which I love referring back to. And see if you like read a page of that every night, like, or say tomorrow I had an Irish Wolfhound. Let me just grab my notes from the grooming table. Irish Wolfhound. Oh yeah. You know, that's as quick as it can be when I say learn every night. Another book though that I love from Christies is What Would Colin Do? 101 Solutions and Situations, got that the wrong way around, for every dog groomer. This, like, see, once I got this, I read it and was like, like, it takes you through, like, here's the contents. Like, it helps you with your business, and it helps you just with like situations like that, like not great situations that could help, like that could happen in your salon, and it helps you deal with those and talks you through advice on how to deal with those. So I would say stock up on some learning resources, some books, you know, find a YouTuber that you like, find a TikToker that you like, and just watch their videos, because like it actually gives you the world of help. Like, it's so beneficial to your grooming to do that, and it's good for the dogs, because then they leave in their fancy little haircuts that you've learned some new techniques off YouTube, and they feel good and they feel fresh, and their owners are like, wow, you're amazing, and you're like, yeah, thank you. So yeah. Advice 6, yes, always be honest with yourself, with the customer, with maybe your colleagues, with the dog. I don't know. This is more so for someone who is, you know, just started out by themselves and is maybe dealing with the customer more so than, you know, anyone else. Maybe if you have someone working with you and you're always the one dealing with the customer, always be honest. So if you've booked in a dog for the first time and he comes in here literally like a wild bear, literally wanting to maul your face off to the point where you're actually petrified, you've never been so scared of an animal in your life, you see this dog, don't turn around and be like, yeah, I'll definitely be able to complete him. I'll definitely be able to give him a good groom. Yeah, I'll definitely be able to make him look like he is on his way to Crofts. No, there's no point. There's absolutely no point, because in 10 minutes time, you're gonna ring and you're gonna say, hi ma'am, your dog is actually, he's just bit my arm off and he's just trailed it across the garden. There's no point. Like, yes, by all means, try until your heart is content, but what I would do in that situation is, well, he does look like he is quite riled up and quite aggressive, but I will try him, but I can't promise that I will be able to complete him. Also, another thing is, if a dog comes in completely mad up to the skin and the owner says, don't shave him, be honest. Like, don't say, yeah, well, I'll see what I can do. Just from the very get-go, say, there's no way that I can do anything with your dog apart from shaving. Because you're just going to upset them if you tell them you're going to do what you can and then they come back and they're bald. You know? So always be honest with yourself and with customers. And by with yourself, I mean, like, if a dog comes in and it just looks like it's too much, like, I'm by myself and sometimes dogs have come in here and I've just said that's too much work for one person. Like, they could be really hyper, really aggressive, you know. You're better just saying, listen, I think you should maybe take him somewhere where there's a few more people, just because, you know, it's a lot for one person. So advice 7, and this is a really good one, not just for students or people who have just started out by themselves. Generally, with any groomer, do not burn yourself out. Like, it's the worst thing you could do. So don't be waking up at 7 in the morning, starting to groom dogs and going to bed at 11 o'clock at night. Don't be doing that. Like, it's just not on. And by that I mean, don't be starting at 7 and ending at 11, because I've been there, I've done it, and it just ends badly. You start to like resent everything. You don't want to get up for work in the morning because you're shattered from the day before, and you just think I have to do that all again today. I literally used to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and most of those would be morning to evening, and I just started to get like completely burnt out to the point I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's bad news, and you just want to avoid doing that at all costs. And I understand, like, yes, but like we have to work and like we have to make money, but you know, there's no fun in working literally from 7 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night every day of your life. Like, especially when you're a dog groomer, and although people seem to think we just play with dogs all day, no, it is an intensely physical job, and you will be tired after a day's work. Like, that's just that. So my advice for that would be, from the get-go, set yourself working hours, or set yourself a daily limit of dogs that you're gonna groom. So like, if you look at your diary and there's 4 dogs in it for next Tuesday, but you're like, okay, well, I'll do 6 dogs that day. See, once you have those 6 dogs in your diary, no more. If somebody says, but please, like, I promise, like, I just really need them groomed next Tuesday. No, sorry, my 6 dogs are in for that day, and that's it. So you need to learn to say no. Like, I suppose that comes into this as well. Like, learn to say no, and just don't let anybody test your boundaries. I could have made like all these pieces of advice so short and just say, set yourself boundaries, don't let people take advantage of you. That would have been enough, but here I am ranting. Advice, I can't remember, but something really useful I would say to do if you're setting up by yourself, or you're setting up like just after your course, is make contact with other groomers in your area. I promise they will not bite you, they will not be scary, they will be happy to hear from you, and it's always someone you can turn to for advice. Also, join Facebook groups and any groups you can, really, to ask questions, learn more. Like, people in the grooming industry are so lovely. Everyone's always happy to help, welcome you with open arms. I know it can be intimidating to do that, but I promise, like, nobody's gonna turn around and tell you, like, you're not grooming the dogs in this area, this is my territory. No, that's not gonna happen. People will be quite happy to welcome you into the area, because usually people are inundated and need to send other people somewhere. So it's also a good way of making sure, if you know they're fully booked, they'll send some customers or some dogs your way, which is also really beneficial if you've just opened your diary because you're trying to get like a wee client base going. So yeah, I would really recommend you do that. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for advice. As far as advice can go, I mean, I really have tried to think of everything that I could cover. Hopefully I haven't forgot anything, but if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like it and subscribe to the Christies YouTube channel. Also, if you want more info on this, I can do some more TikToks, so make sure you're following the Christies Direct TikTok channel, and I also have wrote about some of these topics in my blog posts with Christies, so check that out too. But thank you very much if you have made it through this whole video of me probably what seems to be rambling on. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye!